So I honestly never dreamed in a million years that I would be making a video with this kind of title, $9,500 a month on Etsy. It still just doesn't even seem real. Now I know so many people post these videos with these huge numbers and then you watch the video and it either ends up really being too good to be true or it's just blown way out of proportion. So I want to go ahead and let you know this is not one of those videos. Over the past 3 years, we've averaged just a little bit over $9,500 a month in our Etsy shop. So I want to unpack the top 3 factors that I believe played a major role in getting us there. I want to show you that it's totally possible and that with the right strategies, you can see success on Etsy too. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea and let's get into it. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and if we haven't met yet, I'm Kate. I'm a wife, mom, Etsy seller, and business coach, and I am on this channel to help you start and scale your online business so that you can make a full-time income doing what you love. If you're into small business strategy, entrepreneurial tips, or Etsy selling, you're in the right place. All right, just so you have a quick recap of our Etsy business journey, we opened up our Etsy shop in 2015 and landed in the top 1% of all Etsy shops a few years later, but really it wasn't until 2019 when our shop skyrocketed and we saw incredible growth. Over the last 3 years, from March 2019 to March 2022, our shop has averaged just over $9,500 a month in revenue. Now, of course, our shop, just like every shop on Etsy, had peak seasons and slower seasons each year. So this amount that I'm giving you is an average when you take into account our total revenue over the 3 years and you average it out monthly. Also, I want to make sure it's really clear that this number I'm talking about is revenue, not profit. So revenue is the total amount that we got from all the sales that came in from our shop before accounting for our expenses and material costs. So it's not profit, it's actually the total revenue. So I always like to reverse engineer and ask what went right and what were the top things that contributed to the success that we've seen. I boiled it down to 3 main points. So these are the 3 top things that we did as a shop that I believe led to us getting to this point. Now, before we go any further, if you know me at all, you know that I can never talk about our numbers without giving glory and credit to the Lord. It's a super personal thing, sharing with the world these numbers and what we've made in our business. But I'll just say this, from the very beginning, we dedicated our work to the Lord, and I believe He's honored that. It doesn't look the same for everyone, but I know that none of this would have been possible if it weren't for His guidance and provision in our life. Okay, let's hop right into factor number 1, which is that we run a business that is data-driven. What I mean by data-driven is that we don't just guess and throw things up on our shop hoping for success. We use data and we research to figure out what we should be offering and to evaluate every so often to see if we need to make a pivot here or there, depending on what's working and what's not. So I like to think of this in 2 main parts. The first part is actually validating the type of product you want to offer before putting it up on your shop. You're confirming that the product type you want to sell is actually in demand and actually is profitable on Etsy. So like I said, you're not just guessing and you're also not just making something that you like in your style, though you do want to stay true to your brand, but you can't just make what you like and assume everyone else is shopping for that and wants to buy it on Etsy. You really have to find out what is in demand, even if it's not your personal style, and what things are trending and what things have gone out. So we not only research to find a profitable product idea, but also a trending style idea. So one example of this is, let's say, a font style. So different fonts come and go, are trending, and then they kind of go out and something new comes in. So in some recent research I did, I found that a predicted trend for font styles this year in 2022 is like 60s theme. So think hippie, groovy, those kind of fonts are gonna be really popular this year. Now, is that my favorite kind of font to use in general? No, not really my style, but am I thinking about using that in some of my products? Absolutely, because that is what's trending this year and that is what people are looking for. That is what's going to be more and more in demand. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do this product research, but I'm just going to mention 2 today to get you started. So the first one, it's on Etsy, just using the predictive phrases when you type in a keyword on the Etsy search bar to see what is currently being searched and popular now. So think of a keyword phrase that you might be using for your product. Go ahead and type it in the search bar on Etsy and see what results come up on the first and second pages. Once you look at those results for that keyword phrase, you're gonna look for that little yellow bestseller or popular now badge underneath the listing. That'll give you a clue as to which of those listings are really doing well and are currently selling consistently. You're just gonna take note of what elements you're seeing over and over again repeated in these listings, and what could I incorporate into my products that I'm gonna offer and make it even better than what's already being offered. Now, the next way you can do this is to use a tool that I love called Everbee. This can either be free or paid. They have different plans available, but I'm gonna show you exactly how you can use Everbee to do product research. I do wanna thank Everbee for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I just think this resource is so valuable for Etsy sellers, whether you're just starting out or whether you're a seasoned seller that's trying to scale your business. Okay, so Everbee is a Chrome extension, so when you install it and you go to Etsy, you'll see this sidebar. So what we're gonna do is type in a keyword phrase that we might be thinking of using for our product. I'm just gonna say baby beanie hats for this example. And so once you get the results up, you can come over here and click analytics, and Everbee will show you the analytics for that term baby beanie hats. So it's populating all of the listings that have used that keyword phrase, and it's gonna give you some really valuable information so you can compare and get some data from these listings. So it'll show you the main listing photo, it'll tell you the product name on that listing, it'll say the shop name, the price, how many favorites that listing has, the estimated total sales for that listing, the estimated monthly sales for that listing, and the estimated monthly revenue for that listing. So you can use this any way you want. The way that I like to do it is to click on estimated monthly revenue. That's where I like to focus because we want to make money on Etsy. So we're looking at how much we can make with something similar. We click on this and it filters it and arranges it so that we're seeing the top earning listings from the perspective of estimated monthly revenue first. So let's just take a look at this first listing. It's making $2,295 in estimated monthly revenue. Now let's click to open this and see what the details are for this listing. So this is what the main listing photo looks like. We can get an idea of the style of what the product is and the photography style here. We can see what keyword phrases and SEO they're using in their title. So they have optimized this very well with all of these different keyword phrases. We can also look and see what tags they're using on their tag section. So we can get an idea to help us both with photography and product style and SEO. Now let's say we want to compare this to another one of the top ones. So let's look at this next one, which is earning over $2,000 in estimated monthly revenue. Now again, we can take clues from the photography style, the SEO, and the title and the tags. And the whole purpose of doing this kind of research is not to copy people word for word or to copy that listing exactly in what you're offering, but just to get some data and to get some inspiration on what is currently selling well, what is currently trending, so that we can make something of our own and put our own twist on it and make it even better. Now I do want to show you the different plans that Everbee offers, so you can try it totally for free. There's no credit card required, so you can hop on there, try it, no risk involved. Now the first plan they offer is the hobby plan. That is free forever, and you get 10 of those analytics searches per month, as well as revenue and tags analytics. Or you can upgrade to the pro plan or the growth plan. So the pro plan gives you a little bit more. It gives you 30 analytics searches per month, and the growth plan is unlimited. So I totally recommend that you try out Everbee. It's free, there's no risk to try it, and the link is in the description box below. That is an affiliate link. So when you use our link to sign up for Everbee, you're supporting our channel, which I am super grateful for. Okay, moving on to factor number 2, which is that we are always learning and willing to pivot. So this is something that from the very beginning we've had a certain mindset about. We've always been wanting to learn more, wanting to grow more, wanting to improve our craft more, and we've always remained flexible and willing to change and shift things a little bit if necessary. I can't stress enough the importance of being willing to follow where the trends lead for your Etsy success. Now, I don't mean this in terms of the values of your company or your brand. Of course, you always want to stay true to your values, true to the things that your business is all about. You never want to change what your brand stands for. I'm talking more in terms of shifting trends in styles and product types, and even ways of creation that may come on the scene that you've never heard of before. So this could take a lot of different forms. This could be shifting your style from time to time, depending on what is trending in your niche. It could be a certain font style, it could be a certain color scheme or shape or icon style or materials or phrases. It could be shifting your whole creation process. This could mean mean rising to meet the competition. So if other competitive shops in your niche are starting to do something that's giving them more success, like let's say they're starting to offer different personalization options for their customers and you don't currently offer that, it could be something that you're gonna have to learn how to be able to offer those things to be able to compete with those other shops in your niche. This could also mean that at some point you have to totally pivot your product style or your whole niche and go with something completely different if what you made before is either going out of style or if it just never took off. You just have to stay flexible and follow what's selling. Now I know this may seem scary, but it's really not, and it really can bring a lot of success if you're willing to stay flexible. I have made so many pivots in my business since 2015, and I'm just gonna give you a quick list of all the pivots I've had to make to get to where I am today. So in 2015, my very first product I started out with were painted canvases. I quickly switched over to creating pallet wood signs because pallet wood signs at the time were just skyrocketing and everyone wanted one. So with my pallet wood signs, I started by using stencils for my lettering and eventually learned a new technique of a charcoal transfer for hand lettering that I ended up going with that really made my product more appealing to buyers. Now I started having issues with customers complaining of the quality of them. Some of them were losing a board here and there, so I had to research and up my game in terms of durability and making sure that I was creating them in a way that they would stay together during shipping and they would last for years to come. So I had to shift my creation process a little bit to ensure the quality of my item. Now I sold those signs for a while, but started to notice slowly but surely that the pallet wood sign trend was going out, and I realized if I wanted to continue at the pace on Etsy that I was gonna have to completely shift to a different product type. I ended up landing on wreaths and started learning and teaching myself how to make wreaths. My first wreaths were the burlap style wreaths that were really popular at the time, and they sold a ton, but again, over time, that burlap style started to go out. Is it to say that burlap wreaths don't still sell a little bit? Sure, here and there they may, and people may still prefer that style, but in general, the demand for that style was going out and the grapevine wreath trend was coming in. So I looked up some tutorials on YouTube, taught myself how to make a grapevine wreath, and shifted to that being my main focus. Now with my grapevine wreaths, I was originally offering monogram letters, like the 12-inch little monogram letters that you would see for a last name on a wreath. And again, those were super popular for a while and then started to slowly go out, and I started to see in my research more and more of these little signs that people were adding to wreaths. Like in the middle of the wreath, it wasn't a letter, it was a sign with like a phrase on it. So I eventually switched from the monogram letters over to the inserts. Is that to say that I don't still offer the option of the monogram letter? No, I can still offer that, that's totally fine. But is it the trend and is it what most people are buying now? No, the success has come from following the new trend of the inserts. Another pivot was I started only with one style of insert, and then I noticed that people were offering customization options for their signs and their inserts on the wreaths. So I decided to make a lot of different phrases and a lot of different styles to offer so that my buyers could personalize it and customize it how they want. So that's just a quick overview of the major pivots I've had to make over the years. Etsy is always just something that's kind of ebbing and flowing, and if you're not keeping on top of trends and doing product validation research, you're not gonna offer the things that people are currently searching for. Okay, we're about to move on to point number 3, but if you're getting value out of this video, would you give it a big thumbs up for me, and also consider subscribing to the channel. We release new value-packed videos every single week. I also wanna let you know about a free Etsy success guide that's totally free. You can click to download. There's a link in the description box below, and it's a checklist for everything you need to focus on for Etsy success, starting your shop, launching it, growing, and scaling it. So when you're done with this video, make sure to click that link in the description box below. Okay, so point number 3, we spent the first few years of our Etsy business in what I call manual mode. Now what I mean by this is kind of the difference between manual and automatic. Think about it. When something is automatic, you don't really have to do that much or put that much effort in to make it work or make it go. Whereas when something is manual, you are literally having to shift every gear to do every single step to make it go, to get traction, to get momentum. So a lot of people go into their Etsy journey thinking, well, Etsy has millions of shoppers. I can just list things on my shop, Etsy will bring them in through the search, and bam, I'll start making sales. But it really just doesn't work that way for most people. The truth is that in the beginning, no one will even know about your shop if you're not promoting and advertising. So what I'm really talking about here is hustling a little bit when it comes to marketing. Now, I know hustle is kind of a trigger word these days, but I'm not talking about hustling for your whole entire business journey. It's only for a season at the beginning where you really are having to put in just a ton of work and effort to promote and market and advertise and get the word out about your shop. And then eventually, once the algorithm starts to register you in the search, it becomes a little more organic and it's not as important for you to just constantly be putting it out there. But there is a season in the beginning of the hard work and the hustle for the sake of getting traction and momentum. So I would encourage you, instead of fighting against that, lean into it and embrace that season of really kind of being in that manual mode where things are happening because you're making them happen. So there's a lot of different ways that you can market your Etsy shop in the beginning and really give people an incentive to buy, get the word out there. This could be anything from using social media platforms to Pinterest, to a blog, to collabing with some influencers, to having a brand ambassador program, to building your email list and using email marketing, to going to physical events that are in person where you're actually interacting with people and directing them to your Etsy shop. There's just so many ways that you can start to turn those wheels manually and get the word out to get some traction and traffic to your shop. When I first started, I personally leaned really into Facebook. I started a Facebook business page and a business group, and I really built up my audience in that business group through offering a week of freebies where I was giving things away every day in exchange for people inviting their friends, spreading the word. So I was doing giveaways and freebies, and then eventually, once I had a little bit of an audience built up on that group, I did a big product launch with a huge 50% off discount that was like a really great incentive for people to start buying it, which gave me the traction for that product to eventually become a bestseller on Etsy. But none of it would have ever happened had I not hopped on Facebook and really tried to get those wheels turning. I also found some local groups on Facebook of different people in my area that I advertised on and made local sales, and every time someone local wanted to buy something from me, I directed them to do it through Etsy so that it started racking up sales on my listings. Every sale that went through my listing pushed it higher and higher in the search results. So yes, there are a ton of different ways that you can advertise your shop in the beginning, but don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like you have to try all of these at once. I just recommend picking one or two to focus on to get started. Comment down below and let me know if you had to start with just one platform or one way of advertising, what would it be? Or if you've already started, what are you using to promote your shop? Okay friends, well hopefully that was helpful for you in getting started on your Etsy journey. Make sure to check out Everbee by clicking the link below, and also don't forget to download your free Etsy success guide, which is also linked below. Now if you're interested to take a deeper dive into what I mentioned with product validation and product research, I do have a whole dedicated video talking about this step by step. So if you click or tap on the square on the screen right now, it'll take you over to watch that video. Bye friends.